Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. What this amendment does is it guts the bill. It strikes the enacting clause. Debates about the right to vote have dominated conversations in this body for my entire time in the Texas legislature. Before I was elected to the House, I served as a county party chair, and in this role, I put on the 2016 presidential primary election and runoff for one of Texas's largest counties, working closely with our election officials and poll workers throughout the electoral cycle and in every cycle since. Between that work, the 3 terms I've served on the Elections Committee, and my service on the Constitutional Rights and Remedies Committee, I've been given a unique perspective and a front row seat to election policy in the state of Texas. We talk a lot about the lack of faith in the electoral process, distrust in the outcome of elections, and people being fed up with their government. But what we don't talk about is the reason for that. It isn't because of illegal voting or so-called voter fraud. And it isn't because the results of our elections are in question, because guess what? They aren't. It's because even though the Texas Secretary of State has repeatedly assured us our elections in this state are smooth and secure and a success and something that we can be proud of, we come down here session after session and pass laws that make it harder to participate and harder to have a say in our collective future. Legislating in this way, where pandering to partisan extremism and winning at all costs matters more than deliberation and thoughtful policymaking, is the hallmark of the broken DC swamp. We here in Texas are better than that, and our constituents deserve better than that. Our words and actions as leaders of our community and leaders in this state can take us down one of 2 paths. We can work together to build up faith and confidence in our elections, or we can decimate it. Unfortunately, many of the things we have done in this building have sent us down the wrong path. We have allowed this false narrative to fester and take root. At what point do we say no more and that enough is enough? Sometimes leading means telling our friends they're wrong and standing up for the truth, especially when it's tough. Leading is doing right and risking the consequences. A little under 2 years ago, after 3 marathon hearings lasting over 60 hours in total, after long days and nights spent debating the merits, and a floor debate that considered over 85 amendments collectively on the floor of this House, this body passed Senate Bill 1. And in that bill, via Amendment 50, record vote number 49, this body voted on a bipartisan basis, almost every single one of you, to lower the offense for the penalty of illegal voting from a second-degree felony, the same penalty for attempted murder, to a Class A misdemeanor. But what has changed in those 20 months? We have had numerous elections in Texas, constitutional amendments, primaries, general elections for cities and school boards, special elections, and most recently the gubernatorial election, in which every member present on this floor was duly elected by their constituents.
Members, please take your conversations outside the rail.
Members, we were all just elected. There's nothing in question there. Where are the criminal charges and court dockets full of persons accused of voter fraud or illegal voting? Where are the convictions? Where are the sworn affidavits, which, unlike rumor mill and social media, are subject to perjury? They don't exist. There's simply no tangible metric behind this proposal. As such, there is no need to reverse course on the decisions this body agreed upon. The truth is, the last time we provided a comprehensive snapshot in the legislature by the Attorney General, he told us, we were told by that office, that they obtained 16 convictions for voter fraud, and that was over a 5-year period. Members, hear this stat: 16 out of 40 million votes cast in that same time. 16 versus 40. So whether it's voter suppression, spreading misinformation, or causing intimidation and chilling effects on voters across Texas, we must do better. We in the Texas House are the backstop of democracy. The 150 people in this room will decide whether we have the courage to act despite our fears or succumb to them. What path do we want to go down, members? We cannot let partisan primary politics come before doing what is right. We must exercise every caution against undermining the freedom to vote and stacking the deck against everyday Texans who, regardless of what they look like, where they live, or how much money they make, just want to exercise their right to self-governance freely, safely, and equally. Members, at the end of the day, voting is the foundation of our democracy. It is a sacred right, one that upholds all others. Everything that we cherish and hold dear is enabled by our access to the ballot box and our ability to make our voices heard from City Hall to the halls of Congress, from the State House and to the White House. So I'm asking you to vote for my amendment. Let's kill this bill right here and now, and let's not pass any other legislation that makes it harder or more intimidating to vote. Mr. Speaker, I move adoption.